Hello and welcome to Rattle the Stars Studio. I'm Tiffany and I'm pumped. Today we're going to make a party dress. I'm going to be making this 60s party dress. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It is an original pattern. It's a bust size 34, which is a hair smaller than mine, but I find that for most patterns it's not actually an issue, but we will make a mock-up because we learned our mock-up lesson with the capri pants. So we're not going to do that again. We're determined in this year, 2021, to always make mock-ups. That's our goal. We'll see, but that's our goal. So I'm really excited. I'm going to be making it out of this gorgeous dyed purple fabric. I think it used to be a tablecloth, honestly, but it was painted and dyed by my grandmother. So I'm super excited to get to give it new life as a fancy 60s party dress. So we are making this party dress specifically to wear to my half-sister's quinceanera, which is sure to be a time. I don't actually know that much about quinceaneras, because I'm not sure if you noticed, I am very white and not Hispanic, but she is Hispanic from her mom's side of the family. So I'm very excited to learn more about this. It's going to be great fun. So yeah. So I'm making this in time to wear to this big extravaganza. So let's get into it. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna have to do some pattern saving here. The person who previously used this went ham on their pattern pieces and they are a bit of a mess. So we're going to iron these up flat and then fix some of these big ol' issues, and then we'll trace it out onto fresh paper so we don't destroy these any more than they need to. Camera battery died, so while that was charging, I cut out the top lining slash mock-up. I'm hoping I can use this as the lining too, and I don't have to cut more. So I basted all the darts in and basted it together so I could try it on. It's pinned right now to make sure that it hit at the right spot. So once you bring the seam allowance here, it's perfectly at my waist, so the length is awesome. I also wanted to make sure this neckline wasn't terrible, so I actually think I'm going to bring the point this closes higher because it's hitting right at my bra band right now. So I'm going to bring it up about an inch, but other than that, I think this is fine. It's going to curve over really nicely, so it's not too overwhelming. You still get that separation, which is really nice. So I am going to make that adjustment mark on the front of my pattern pieces, and then we're going to cut some stuff out. Progress. I forgot to film. We have the front and backs put together. The lining is all stitched down and the darts are all done. I have the front stitched to the dot, which remember I raised by an inch. And now I have the facing piece that is going to go on here. So the facing will get stitched down around the top as well as the armholes, and then I'm going to pull it through so that in the end all the edges are encased with this facing piece. So the front and back and the shoulders will all be enclosed inside it. So let's stitch that down. And then I think we can attach the side seams and move on to the skirt. So we're making progress, but as you can kind of see, this is gaping like a lot. Like it's not even close to being flush. So while the mock-up looked good once we added this stiffer fashion fabric, it's acting different now. So what I'm going to have to do, should have tried this on earlier before I got too far ahead. I am going to have to not fully flip it back the right way because the back is totally fine. So what I'm going to have to do is kind of get under there, and I'm going to have to make a new shape here to try to help with that. So like, as you can see, it would be a great V-neck, though part of the joy of this pattern is this swoop. So we're going to have to see if we can kind of make a new thing. Or, oh, hear me out. I just thought of this. What if we tack this open here, sew it and tack it open, and put a little bow right here, and kind of make it a little collar situation. Oh, that's not a bad idea. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think we might do that. That seems really fun. So if I tack this down, and then I'll make a little bow that'll go right here, and I can still keep that swoop. That's a thought. Okay, I'm going to think on that. That might be our solution. I'm going to think about it, and then we will move on. Okay, so we've slept on it, and we've sat on it. It's a couple days later. And while this solution is a good one for this top, I realized a big reason why I wanted to do this pattern was because of that swoopy neckline. And if I adjust the neckline like this, and it's just a V-neck with some lapels, what was the point? Why? Why even use this pattern if the whole top design, which brought me to it, is gone? So what I'm going to do is adjust the top pattern so that this swooping shape fits my chest area better. The décolleté. Anyways, this chest area. So we're going to adjust this pattern of that. I have enough fabric left that I can completely redo the top, which is really nice because I realized I didn't try this on before I did the top stitching, and in order to open this back up to adjust it on this top, I would have to undo all of the top stitching, and just like the amount of effort that would take is exactly the same as just making a new one. And since I have enough fabric to do it, I'm just going to make a new one because why? Also, the really nice thing about just making a new one means, thank you computer, means that if I mess it up again, I do still have this option to see me through. And while this is a good solution and it's not my ideal end result, if I need to use it, it will still look very lovely and I won't be mad about it in the end. But we're going to try to fix this before that point. So let's adjust our pattern, cut everything out again, and do this whole process a second time. You would think I would fucking learn, but I haven't. Okay, so one of the big things that is happening is that this part is too high, which is making it gap. So I'm going to actually bring it down and kind of swoop it more. So I I've already kind of come up with my shape here, and I'm drawing on pencil on these main pieces because then I'm just going to trace a new pattern piece. So as you can see now, it's much lower and it's more swoopy, so it should come down farther from my shoulder and come across my chest in a way that is much more flush and flattering. So that's the bodice piece. The two other pieces that have to get adjusted are the front facing and the front inner facing, and I'm just going to put it on top of this and do the same thing. So let's trace out some new pattern pieces, shall we? Okay, so this is our new top. As you can see, I'm really glad I went back and adjusted for this sort of circular top, but even adjusting the shape, which was a really good idea because it definitely helped, it was still gaping away from my chest. So to fix that, we are going to add a small dart up at the top to bring it closer into the body. So you can see I have them marked right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it inside out. I'm going to make the dart across the fashion fabric and the facing, the like purple facing fabric. Flip it back over, and then I should have a smooth finish here, and it'll be smooth right on the inside as well. Not ideal. Eventually I will figure out how to fix this problem at the pattern stage versus at the fitting stage, but I'm not mad. I'm really glad we went back and did a new top for this. Let's deal with these darts, and then we can finally actually get to the skirt. Huzzah! All right, it's the light of a new day, and I put the darts in here, and you can see the top is fitting really nicely now. It's staying flat against my chest like it's supposed to, and I'm really glad that I ended up doing the facing in a cotton. It really took down a lot of the bulk that was in there when I had done it out of the fashion fabric as well. Also, trimming down the seam allowance a lot helped with getting much crisper, cleaner turns. So now that we've gone down that journey, we can actually get to the skirt and finish this thing up. So, yay! Together so perfectly, and I've put it on at the waistband, so right now it's just pinned on, and I'm going to serge the waist seam and then stitch it down to the lining, which will just help keep it flat, which will reduce bulk. One of the things that I really like about this pattern, because it is a 60s pattern, is it has a little bit of a bubble around the hips, which is really flattering for me because I do have a slight pooch in my belly. So because of the shape of the skirt, it actually works with the shape of my body. So everything just is really flattering. I'm so glad we redid the top because it is working out so nicely now. So the last thing to do is the zipper. So we're going to do an invisible zipper, even though that's not what the pattern calls for. Let's go deal with a zipper. Pray for me that it goes well the first time. It should. I've done quite a few zippers, but every time I get nervous, every zipper is nerve-wracking. I don't know if anybody else has that feeling. I do. Every zipper is nerve-wracking for some reason. Anyways, let's go deal with that. Well, there you have it, you guys. The making of my 1960s party dress for my sister's quinceañera. It is all done. I am ready. It's time to party. So if you enjoyed watching the making of this project and you want to see more fun stitchery adventures, please hit that subscribe button down below so you can keep up with all of the things that I'm making. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it somewhere so someone else can see it, and until next time, I hope you have a great day.